Well, as you know, sometimes we get sudden changes in our schedule and we always have to scramble a little bit. But it wasn't a too bad scramble this week because we thought we've got a project that's relevant, means a lot to our community. It addresses issues of homelessness and it's our project. And so, Carmen, I'm so happy to have you here. You need to talk some more, you know. Okay. So Carmen's going to share the community project that she initiated last year under Scott's watch, where we pinpoint specific issues and demographics and try to bring change to our community. So to get to the details, come on up, Carmen.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so Kathy put together a great presentation last night. Thank you so much for doing this. So Dawn Viewport Apartments. This project was a little bittersweet. So this was our final community service project under Scott's leadership and presidency. So I remember digging in the weeds, the landscaping at the Boys and Girls Club about 2 years ago when Scott approached me and said, "Hey, you want to be our community service lead?" I'm like, "Well, what does that entail?" He's like, "Anything you want, sky's the limit, just let's do it." And I just felt so uplifted and enabled to make a change in our community because of Scott's trust in me. And he just said, "We'll back you whatever you want to do." And so they gave me some funding and away I went. So we decided to target 4 areas in our community. The first being mental health, second being our youth, third being our elderly population, and fourth, helping our homeless community. So the first one, and we'll learn way more about this on the 23rd, but the first one regarding mental health is the graffiti garden. And so that was a lot of fun. I said, we'll go into that more on the 23rd. But in the second area of interest is our youth. And so we decided to support the Boys and Girls Club through their summer meals program, which last year, a lot of you helped distribute meals to different parks, to our families in the community. And then we also, as I mentioned earlier, did the landscaping and continue to support the Boys and Girls Club with their landscaping initiatives. And then the third project, geared towards our elderly population, we built a beautiful bench, thanks to Norm's guidance, and created a flower garden for Laurel Assisted Place. Laurel, what was it? Assisted living, yeah. Laurel Place Assisted Living. St. Andrew's.
St. Andrew's.
Thank you. Yeah, St. Andrew's Place Assisted Living. And that was all during COVID. We were able to do all these projects and come together. And so thank you all for your help and support for those 3 projects. And so for our 4th and final project, we decided to partner with Peninsula Behavioral Health and create a gathering space for the Dawn Viewport Apartments. So how this came about, I just thought that, we do a great job bringing people together in the outdoors with the pandemic, and let's just keep that going. Let's just make that what we do. And so for this year. And so we approached Peninsula Behavioral Health and said, "Hey, what do you think about us creating a gathering space?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So we talked with Angel Dennis. She is the new development director for TDH. She took over for Rebecca Miller's position, and she's just been lovely to work with, and we've had a really good time getting to know her. And so she introduced us to Andrew Reiner. And I apologize, Kathy called me last night and said we're going to be doing this. So Andrew Reiner, and he is the manager that takes care of Dawn Viewport during the day. And so he oversees the construction and all the operations day to day at Dawn Viewport. And so he said, "Let's do a gazebo." So we got our heads together and we didn't just do a gazebo, we did a platform, we did a beautiful picnic table, and we painted it, and we'll go into that a little bit more. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about Dawn Viewport.
So just want to interject, both Andrew and Angel really wanted to be here, but this is a very incident with somebody decided he was going to show up at 10:30 at Dawn Viewport. So they are otherwise occupied, but definitely here in spirit, as Carmen's going to show you.
Okay, so this is from Angel. So this is about Dawn Report. So Peninsula Behavioral Health is always growing to fit the ever-changing need of our community. Over the past several years, there has been one theme that rises to the top of every local needs assessment: affordable housing. To amplify the problem, individuals applying for housing who suffer from severe or persistent mental illness are often passed over for more attractive tenants. Our ability to meet the needs of our clients was diminishing, and we knew we had to do something. That was where the idea of Dawn View Court was. Dawn View Court is a 25-unit affordable supportive housing complex. It prioritizes residency on those who are currently unsheltered and struggling with behavioral health needs. The project has received federal, state, county, and city funding, as well as support through community, business, and nonprofit organizations. But the renovation of the 1937 motel has not been without some costly hiccups. In late December 2021, 2 months after PVH took possession of the site, a bitter cold spell caused pipes to burst in 10 of the 25 units. Unbeknownst to PVA, the electricity had been shut off, but the water wasn't. PVH had to tear out all the drywall and insulation and inadvertently found asbestos and routing framework. That was kind of a blessing in disguise, maybe in the long run, right? Then, unfortunately, thieves cut out the new copper pipes that had been installed, so those then had to be replaced. So a total renovation was completed to meet the green design standards. High efficiency appliances and AC units were installed in every unit. So PVH's commitment and funding requirements ensure that this facility will continue to provide housing for a minimum of 40 years in our community. The name Dawn View Court was chosen to honor our previous resident program manager, Dawn Says. She dedicated her life to ensuring individuals with severe and persistent mental illness had access to housing and residential supports. During her tenure with PVH, she helped to build and grow 3 residential houses and 19 bed-assisted living facilities. Dawn was diagnosed with cancer and retired from her position with PVH to spend her remaining time with family before. So Dawn View Court residents must have an income of less than 30% local average median income. So for example, if you have one member in your family, the median income in Washington State monthly is $4,915. So 30% of the median monthly income would be $1,475. So these residents are contributing to live in this complex. Okay, so PVH has received over 90 applications for tenancy and currently have all but 3 units built. One of those units is reserved for a veteran, and 2 units are reserved for participants of mental health court. Current residency as of right now is 25 residents, including, so for males, they have 11 males, not including children, 8 females, not including children, and 1 transgender individual, not including. Adults over 20 are 20 individuals, and then there's 5 children. So residents coming out of transitional settings with nowhere else to go. There's 8. And then there are 5 residents who were currently living temporarily at Serenity House. And then for residents coming from literally homelessness, so just fresh off the streets with nothing on their back, there's 3 individuals for now housing. There are 4 single-parent households residing at Dawnview that need to secure housing in order to start reunification with their children or keep their children with them. And examples of living situations prior to Dawnview include the Serenity House, hotels, living in a vehicle, living in an uninhabitable RV, living in a shed, living in a friend's closet, and a mobile home without amenities. So now residents also have a place to gather, to live, to celebrate, to connect, share a meal, enjoy coffee in the morning, and just simply be. So I am so proud of Northwestern Rotary for taking on this project. And Kathy is going to go into how quickly and why we did this project so quickly. So thank you, Kathy. Thank you.
So when we started this project in this PowerPoint, Dawn View Court is described ridiculous. And so I started off with this cover sheet because there was no light there. But I can tell you that I talked to 4 people in the course of this build with all the people that are in this room in England. And they loved what was happening. They on-site person, but she left the organization, so it came down to Andrew and Engel to run it. The first work party, Dawn and Steve were there. Jason Bryce was incredible, and all the other people that showed up. And those work parties pretty much were from 9 to 1. Then we had the actually raising the roof. And it was kind of like it was like more like making logs, trying to get all the pieces together and put it up. And so Bob and I were able to actually help twice. Jim was there. And but thank heavens for the tall people.
Okay.
That
I'll give it to you afterwards. Afterwards, just give it. Okay.
Work party 3, picnic table and railings. I wasn't able to make it for that. Norm, did you have anything to say about the table?
Yeah, it will not walk away.
It's drop dead gorgeous and beautiful.
Absolutely. I do have one thing to say about it. The wood from that came from good friends of ours, Don and Judy Hoy, who live up on North Pleasant Road. And they were happy to get rid of it, but I was happy to get it. So thanks to them for making that offer of the wood. Almost all of the wood for that came from their farm.
That's excellent.
Douglas fir.
And it's gotta be at least a couple hundred years old.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's old and it's heavy. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. We just got to go up and feel it. It's that attractive, and the Aussie oil that was put on was great. Some of the painters were getting a little wild, but we protected the table.
It was hugging it.
And beautification, we just had to put in some flowers, and it was amazing how it happened because I went to Swain's and I got the baskets, but then I said, I want planters. So I went to Taffy, because quite often I go there, and lo and behold, there was Wayne. So Wayne and I put together a bunch of flowers, and then when we put the baskets together, and the night person at Donview waters those plants. So that they're kind of railings, 4 tiles and ramp. The ramp is not in yet, and we still have, I think, 3 floor tiles to do in the perimeter on it. Steve, again, has been a yeoman at this, hurting it, working with Carmen and I to keep things going forward. Thank you to our own Laurel for suggesting the dark blue. It looks very striking, and the gold in the gazebo and the rail.
But then a note about that blue, so that's Rotary blue.
Rotary
That
color,
is
yeah.
right, and tone,
Yeah,
130.
no, 5005.
5005.
3 days to get it off my hands. Can't
I
wait.
know, I'm still wearing it.
But they said, well, you may realize it's no, it was killing Smurfs.
So if you go to any store, you say, I want Rotary blue, it's now in the system.
Wow.
And actually, the paint, we thought we might have got too much by the time we finish the ramp. We'll have just the right amount of primer and paint. So it was lots of fun putting together. Thank heavens for Tom. He came in and put, I think, almost 5 hours to finish that up so that we could finish up.
And sweet people, they just kept coming, oh my, Are you still working on that? Yes, I am. How tall are you? So cute.
Okay, I'm gonna go along here. So, and there's Tom painting. He was holding down the fort and actually, Carmen and I were spreading them. And so there's a picture of it. That was our get together and it's almost done. Like I said, we still have the ramp and a few other touch ups, but it is going to be in the paper in the next couple of days, and that's huge. A big quarter, the quarter sheet, quarter page.
I'm not sure, but that's what Vivian usually does. for
Yeah.
us, is quarter page. But the way we set up the ad after we sent it the image was especially good. It doesn't look like really ad, but. Right? Or one of you guys.
I drafted, Carmen came in.
Those
teamwork.
two wrote the statement is excellent. You guys are proud of it.
So, we do have to write one more article for Rotary District, and, the good news is that Tom took this wonderful picture of, the informal picture.
Selfie stick. Selfie stick.
That's right, we had to have a selfie stick, and up in the right-hand corner, you can see Andrew Reiner and Angel, and we're so happy to have them. Love to have the residents for confidentiality, we can. So that's the story about Donview Court Apartments, and we thank our partners in the Peninsula Behavioral Health for giving us an opportunity to really contribute. There will be a sign put up, it's in the works, I think in the coming week. Angela's Millworks, who was always there, and then Kathy and Wendy. So at this point, I'm going to just switch to a little bit of the bones of this project.
So Wayne, that's kind of like, so I'm giving.
Yeah. Okay, so on the back end, in order to make these grants happen, we have to do a grant proposal, an application, and then follow through with a whole lot of paperwork. But what is important about this is the district gives away over $400,000, of which gets contributed from global and from various sources. But the bottom line is, at this point where the grants are, we as individuals in the club have to contribute a certain amount of money for the year. How we've done it before, we took some of our fundraisers and contributed, because not everybody can make those contributions every year. So they look for about $100 per person. We have to get together as a board and make that happen. We're at $4, right? But it's something, it's in our goals. But in order to get this money, we actually were gifted $5,000 of our $10,000 we did in community. So it's 50-50. And in order to do that, you have to basically go through the hoops. I am happy to announce David Scott, Gardiner, our very own, is now a global grant writer. So he will on doing this. And so what's involved is, you can see up here, okay. Okay. Ta-da. Thank you. It takes a turn. So first we have to do an application and put that in, and well, I'm not going to bore you with the details. Application, and it's basically down and dirty. What are you doing? How much money do you need? Who's going to be involved? And how's it going to meet the community need? Okay, and then they approve it or don't approve it. Well, with the flick of a finger, I actually took us out of the register because I hit it 3 seconds before the entry point. I figured it was these things. That doesn't happen. Yeah. So, I called up Bob Zawinski, I said, keep us in the running, he says, just go ahead and put it, it's gonna drop to the bottom. But I bugged him enough, that, when it came close to the end of the year, there were funds available that people had to use, even though they didn't, designated for them. He called up, he says, I have $2,267 for it. And if you plug puts in $2,267, we'll give that to you. So we got it, and, we have been, and as it turns out, we had about $10,000. People who weren't able to follow through and didn't tell us. So now we have to return $10,000 from our debt district back to global. And that's kind of how the money rolls. But the caveat is it's double edged. You have to document every receipt and then have checks showing every receipt. So if Steve, went and bought this and Carmen bought this, we had to have the little slips and then the checks to show it. And everybody did that. Steve generated the checks. Have you got the check yet? It's waiting for you. And then write the final report. The final report, there's one more thing, and then pictures. It's speaking 1,000 words. So use the words. I used a lot of these pictures, and then send it in, hit the button, submit. They said, fix this and this. I said, got it. And so as it turns out, the check has already been cut for $2,267 for this project. This is incredible. 6-week turnaround from the time we started. And we blew their socks up. But we had done that last year on another grant, and they know we can do it. So this is a tribute to everybody. So thank you very much. That's Don.
Kathy, you do a lot for this club. You're a true blessing.
I'm only spreading it.
We appreciate everything. And Steve, I know you're online. Do you want to add anything else onto about Donview, because you're a huge part of all this as well?
Only that really appreciate everybody's help, and you can let Kathy know that the ramp is now installed so she can get her paintbrush out and go finish her job. And then we put this thing to bed. So anyhow, good project, got done in a short time. Really appreciate everybody's help. Thank you.
Yeah, and good job, everybody.